we are using two different services. One of them is for using the city request. If you are searching inside of our dropdown, you will then query this to API Ninjas. You need here an account that are created. Both services I will give you are free to use for, not commercial use, only for personal use. And if you have created an account here in Ninjas, you can go down, and here, if you click on that button, you see then an API key. That's one key we need later in the next part. Also, we will use the service openweather map.org, which means you has to create an account also here if you want to go further with this project. Of course, you can still use a way without using the services, but to make this service really good, you need both of them. At least this openweather thing is relatively important for us, because this is the service where we get our data from. If you are here, you can go under My API Keys, and then you already should see one. If not, you can here on the right side click on Create Key, typing, I don't know, like weather app, and then click on Generate. At least then you should see a key, which we also need in the next part. Ready to learn Angular 19, 20, and 21. This course covers everything new in this latest versions. From hydration, event replay, resource API, signal forms, we cover it all. You will get a complete playground app showcasing all features. Plus, we will build a weather app from scratch to implement everything hands-on. Full source code for both projects included. Check the link in the description. Okay, then let us continue by adding the necessary services that we're needing. First of all, we will create two new interfaces. We will go into our models, and we will make a new folder API. In that one, we will create two subfolders, Ninja, and one named Open Weather. That will be the data models that we need for the APIs. We will make a Ninja DTO city interface.ts. I will partially copy that one because, that can be whatever you can think of. Like, that's like the specific DTO that you need. That's the response that Ninja gave us if we requesting a city based on a string. We also will make here an interface. I name it OV DTO for open weather, DTO forecast response dot interface dot ts, and also an OV DTO forecast weather data dot interface dot ts. Will both of them also copy, because that's partially be API specific, and that will be if you like using a different API also, you will need a different DTO for that. For here we will have the weather data. That's relatively big, but I wanted to contain all subkeys that are there. There are some keys that we're not needing, but I wanted to have every property that our OpenWeather API provides to us. Now we will create a new service into our shared, make a folder API, and here we will create a new service named Weather Data API. So we also will make a small file into our app that is named API keys.ts. Here we will add two exported const weather open weather API. Here you has to insert your specific Ninja API token, and here you're putting your specific credentials. Now let us go back into the service. In that one, because we're making requests, we'll make the API client. That will be a private property. With this inject, you can then again get the HTTP client. We have to import that one again. We quickly format that file, put here. So, okay. Now we creating two functions. One of them is named get daily forecast. We need latitude and longitude for getting the right weather for the specific location, because the API not providing us the specific city name and then we get the weather forecast. In that case, we has to provide lat and longitude, and we have here the timestamp count. That's like a variable that OpenWeather API provides to us, or give us as an option to say how much data sets we want from the API. In that case here, we use our HTTP client, make a GET request, and the response of this will be the OVD response. Now I'm copying the API link for that one. We will again make a template string for this one. As you can see, we now have not the API token. We will here make let us getting the OpenWeather API. This one we have to import. And as you can see, we providing a let, a long, and with this it names count. And yeah, as you can see, we can kind of say how many timestamp code elements we want to have. We also making one for querying the cities, where we need the Ninja API. Here we say like search string from type string. And here we also make a return this .http client get, and here we use our Ninja DTO city. It returning us an array of possible locations, and as earlier I copying the endpoint, and here we use the search string. Here it is limited by 10 matches. You can increase, decrease this number if you want to have more matches. This API works a little bit different than the OpenWeather, because here you're providing the API key by a query parameter. Here you need like an header that says X API key and then the Ninja API token. So that's like the base of our service. What we now need that our application runs without Pro. Okay, that's currently have no problems. But what is also necessary now, because we firstly use the HTTP client, we has to go in our main TS, now in the app config, and here you need to provide the HTTP client. Because as soon as we're using our service, it will lead to problems because it can't get the HTTP client. That's like the Bootstrap application stuff that I've already told to you in the course, that we now have this application config which kind of replaces the module way, the old way. And yeah, we most likely don't need any modules in this course, but this app config is very important for you if you using some services from Angular. And here you see like this animation stuff also providing stuff, or the router, a lot of stuff that was previously in the app component module, on the app module, now will be found in the app config TS, or has to be provided in this app config TS. Okay. In the next part, we will start with the endpoints to firstly query cities.